of it across Long Island in particular, talking about 2 feet of snow there in Mattituck and 22 inches in Islip. Central Park coming in at 9.8. And then as we take you farther to the north, 31.5 in Framingham. There are quite a few locations that got 30 inches or more. Worcester, 31 inches. Boston now up to 26 inches. And so that does now officially take us into the top 5 snowstorms on record there in the Boston Metro. This is the list as it was before, and we're going to bring that storm up. Looks like now into 3rd position with a new total of 26 inches in Boston. So a remarkable storm, one for the books, no question about that. And it's not quite over yet. We're looking for an additional 3 to 4 inches across the Cape and the Vineyard, and then up here into Boston. It's probably going to be about another 2 inches, 2 in Worcester, so could continue to climb on the list. The all-time record for snowfall there in Boston is 27.6, and then 3 inches of additional snow in Concord and 4 in Portsmouth. So there is a look at the radar picture, and you've still got this moist feed that's driving into very cold air and riding up along the slope there. As the air gets a lot colder, there's a pressure slope, and that's why you have this pattern, this northeast to southwest orientation of the snow. And the low is now finally beginning to weaken just a little bit, but it's still going to be very powerful for a long time yet, and the snow's still coming down in earnest. Still a lot of reports of moderate and heavy snow across the Cape as well as into interior parts of Massachusetts, and the winds are still very, very strong. Look at that, 58 miles per hour in Nantucket, now gusting to 46 in Chatham. Along with that snow, visibility's way down now, 1/4 of a mile, so that is your ongoing blizzard in Chatham and Nantucket. And then farther to the north, we've got more very strong wind, now gusting to 37 in Portland, 37 Augusta, and Mount Washington gusting to 89 miles per hour there, way up at elevation. So an ongoing storm through the rest of tonight for much of New England, slowly going to wind down in the Boston area. Some lingering snow, we think, through 9 o'clock, maybe even a couple of snow showers beyond that. And then it primarily becomes southeastern Maine, eastern Maine, and the Canadian Maritimes that get that snow. The strongest of wind likely to die down overnight tonight. And we'll have much more coming up in our next hour.
The Big Dig is now underway, and Winter Storm Juno isn't even done yet. We have seen huge snow totals from Connecticut to Rhode Island down to Long Island, and we are not out of the woods yet. There is a long way to go before the storm everyone is talking about is just a memory.
And no state is buried as much as Massachusetts. Look at this. This is from Worcester, west of Boston, and 31 inches of snow piled up, and it's still snowing. Now, it's not over. For much of eastern New England, the National Weather Service Boston office says so far this ranks as the #2 biggest snowfall of all time in Worcester, Massachusetts, or as some of the locals say, Worcester.
Or as some of those of us who had never heard of it, growing up said, Worcester.
Worcester, of course. Hey, thanks for watching special live coverage of Winter Storm Juno. I'm Dave Schwartz.
And I'm Alex Wilson. Well, Juno's winding down on the western side. By no means are we done with this storm. We still have 15 million people under blizzard or winter storm warnings right now.
Yeah, let's show you where the storm is currently. And look out to the right. You see that purple? That's picking up maybe some rain mixing in or sleet with the snow. That's right near the center. So it's directly east of Cape Cod, and the movement is toward the north-northeast. And on the west side of it, here in Massachusetts, the flow is coming out of the north to northeast.
Exactly, and we still have some heavy snow. Anywhere you see that deeper shade of blue, and some of that right around the Portland area as we speak, off to the west of Augusta. It's rolled through Madison, Maine. We have seen some heavy bursts. So the darker the blue, the heavier the snow is coming down. Just a few flakes right now around the Bangor area, some light snow falling there.
Now here's what you need to know this evening. When is Juno winding down? Well, we have a few cities. First up is Providence, Rhode Island. We've gotten it, haven't we, huh? Blizzard conditions ending now. The snow is really lightened up. The winds have died down since this morning, and the snow will completely end after sunset between 9 and 12. Let's say, some snow flurries in there.
Yeah.
But the accumulating snow over tonight.
Absolutely, and we've still got snow in Boston. Blizzard conditions, though, like Providence, beginning to wrap up at this point. The snow will wind down between now and about 2 a.m. So the early morning hours, still a few snow showers. The snow will completely end likely before your morning commute.
But, you know, temperatures in the teens, this snow isn't going anywhere tonight. So,
No, it's not.
So don't be running out for no reason. And so there we have it. Providence, Boston.
You know who doesn't run out for no reason?
Who's that?
Keith Carson. He has been in Boston for a very important reason. He's been telling us what's happening. He said last hour, Dunkin' Donuts is closed. And when Dunkin' Donuts is closed, you know it's legit. And Keith, we can barely see you now.
Yeah, I know. I stepped away. It turns out America likes me better if they can't see my face. So I'm trying to oblige them with that, get as far away as possible.
Not true.
I'm just kidding, guys. Hey, you know what? It's actually taking on a different atmosphere in Boston. It's a little bit, I don't want to say jovial, but it's people kind of digging it now. We're in Boston Common. People are snowboarding by me. I mean, everything's still covered. You got all kinds of winter activities going on. If it were before Christmas, this would be perfect. The snow way down. I said before, we're on the backside of the system. My experience has been when you get the low to the north and east of you, you start losing a lot of the strength of the storm system. That being said, I mean, left behind over 20 inches of snow, so obviously that's going to be a story. Another story to think about here is that we have another chance of some snow on Friday. It won't be Juno, but still we could see kind of insult to injury with that. And beyond even that, looking at some of the mid-range computer models, we're talking about a cold snap going down the line. So I think at the end of the day, you've got this storm, you got maybe another storm, you got a cold snap after that, after what was an unusually warm December and a relatively quiet January. It kind of flipped the switch here in Boston as far as what's going on and how winter feels out here. So that's, I think, something to watch. And cold builds upon cold, right? So when you get snowpack on the ground like this, it makes it easier to get those cold snaps to really entrench themselves. That's sometimes why you see the whole idea of it being too cold to snow, is you get all this snowpack on the ground, it gets very cold, and things go from there. So we're going to watch the next couple of hours. I think the biggest snow is done here. That's good. Still a lot of cleanup to do. Still a travel ban. You can't go out. And we're still watching high tide in some spots, just kind of peeking out down across the South Shore. So we'll watch to see what happens there. Carl, by the way, this is the snow thing is something they did in Rocky, and they were better at it than I am. And I think now I have to go like hang from something upside down to complete the whole picture. Isn't that what happened? Wasn't he upside down from a barn and there was some Russian guy with a spandex suit on? I could be remembering this wrong, but it's something along those lines.
Gosh, it's been so long since I've seen that, I couldn't tell you. That was like the spring of '72 when that came out, wasn't it? Something like that?
See, now I don't know. I'm going to Netflix it. We'll check it out.
All right. Thanks so much, Keith. Let's take a look at the 30-inch club. This is the highest totals that we have seen from this storm so far, and 33 inches appears to be the top total, and that is in Lunenburg in Massachusetts. So that is in the western part, or actually the central part of the state, northwestern part of the Boston exurbs there. Worcester coming in at 31 inches, Chelmsford coming in at 30 inches, and Nashua in New Hampshire actually coming in with 30 inches of snowfall. So we've gotten some very high amounts. Now, I do want to make a correction here. We've gotten 26 in Boston. That is in the city, but officially at the airport, what we've seen most recently is 20.8. So we actually have not cracked the top 5 all-time snowstorms there in Boston. And there is the list for you. We need 25 inches to do that. Are we going to get there? I'm not sure that we will, but it's going to be close. We're thinking another 3 to 4 inches on the way for the Cape, probably about another 2 on the way there in Boston, and another 4 in Lawrence, and then farther to the north, we're looking for 5 additional inches in Portland. So we're definitely on the backside of the downswing of this whole event here. There's a look at the radar picture over the last 24 hours, and you can watch this monster, this beast of a storm. Look at the radar returns there. You see the darker returns, tremendous amount of heavy snow coming up into southeastern New England in particular. This was the area that was really targeted by this storm, and along that western edge we didn't get as much. And there's the current radar picture. We are still now seeing heavy snow reports. Heavy snow is being reported and in Otis in Massachusetts, and then off to the north there at Marshfield. We are still getting moderate snow, thinning out a little bit right now in Boston, but we do expect there will be another inch or two before it's all said and done. We'll have much more on this coming up at the bottom of the hour. Dave, Alex, back to you.
Thank you, Carl. Well, as we've seen, this storm is far from over. We're going to take you to Providence last night. Check out this video.
Yeah, blizzard warning still in effect for the Providence area, though things much calmer than you're seeing here.
Heartburn. Did someone say burn? Try Alka-Seltzer Relief Chews. They work just as fast and are proven to taste better than Tums Smoothies assorted fruit.
Amazing.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. Enjoy the relief.
If you have moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis like me, and you're talking to your rheumatologist about a biologic, this is Humira. This is Humira helping to relieve my pain and protect my joints from further damage. This is Humira giving me new perspective. Doctors have been prescribing Humira for 10 years. Humira works for many adults. It targets and helps to block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to RA symptoms.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Talk to your doctor and visit Humira.com. This is Humira at work.
Thrilled to have Jim Cantore on the show. He's been through like 80 tropical systems.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Watch Jim Cantore, Sam Champion, and Jennifer Delgado on AMHQ, weekday mornings at 7. Stay with us for the latest on Winter Storm Juno.
It will take some time before things get up and running once again.
We're live from across the region with more in a moment. Only the Weather Channel.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
Oh, nice. A shot like that calls for a post-game celebration. Share what you love with who you love. Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
They're great!
Olive Garden's new 8 under 8 lunch combinations featuring 2 new house-made flatbreads, like our Pizziola flatbread, layered with Italian meats and cheeses, and our fresh and flavorful Mediterranean flatbread, plus super salad and breadsticks. 8 under 8 lunch combinations at Olive Garden.
Captain's Log, Day of Discovery. Today, our junior crew members declared their newfound independence. While the young cadets explored uncharted territory, the Admiral and I discovered the Fountain of Youth. Later, we were treated to a royal banquet, and after a brief skirmish with pirates, we celebrated with cannon fire. All in all, another fine day at sea.
Disney Cruise Line. When it comes to pleasing everyone, the difference is Disney.
Sun's going down on the eastern seaboard.
How gorgeous are the colors.
Look at the horizon, beautiful colors. We don't actually know where this is. Oh, it's Long Island. Okay. Must be the western end of Long Island, because out there in Amagansett, it's snowing. They're the last few, you know, when that sun is...
sunshine.
When it's completely... But let's see if we get a green flash. Have you ever heard of that?
I have.
Sometimes it happens the last second, just before the sun completely disappears, there's this green flash coming off. I've never seen it.
Key West, where everybody goes to see the green flash?
Is it?
Mallory Square. I feel like you go, you watch the sunset.
Yeah.
Maybe they just go watch the sunset there, but I've heard of it. I've never seen it as well.
We have no control over the shot, by the way, but it is a beautiful one as the sun sets on the snow-covered beaches on Long Island.
Yeah.
New York.
Over Coney
Island. Right there. How about that? Brooklyn. Well, it's good to have you back here on the Weather Channel. It is 11 after the hour. I'm Dave Schwartz.
And I'm Alex Wilson. We want to send it out to the lab now because coastal flooding, beach erosion has been another factor with this system and still a threat. Michael Lowry has more.
It is, Alex. We're at high tide in a lot of locations here along coastal New England, but I do have a little bit of good news to share with you, which I'll get to in just a minute. Take a look at the coastal flooding that's happening right now along our stations here in coastal Massachusetts. Boston, about a foot, so not really much to write home about here. We did get up to about 3.25 feet of flooding during the overnight high tide. We're not going to see that here. We're at high tide. This is about as high as that water is going to get. And the reason for the water not being as high this time around is because instead of the winds being onshore, look at those winds. The particles here are blowing more offshore or alongshore. So that's been good news. The winds have shifted directions. It hasn't really helped out a whole lot in Nantucket. We were seeing 2 feet of storm surge flooding there in Nantucket Harbor. But if you were with us earlier, you may have remembered that value was 2.5 feet. The tide is coming in, so how's the water going down? Well, the winds have let up a little bit, and the storm surge isn't as high. So that is some excellent news. It doesn't look like, at least the values that we're seeing here, you could see it went down from 1.8 to 1.7 just now. But it doesn't look like we're going to see as high of those storm surge values as we saw earlier. These are some of those shots from earlier of the flooding along the coast. Storm surge is just that ocean water being pushed ashore by the very strong winds around, in this case, a coastal storm. It's the same thing that we deal with during hurricane season and with hurricanes. Woods Hole, only 0.9 feet of coastal flooding there. But here's where I need to caution you is we're not dealing with the waves with these numbers. We're not including the waves, rather, in these numbers. So sometimes these waves, as they kind of lash ashore, that water can build up from the waves. So look, we're going to see some flooding. We are seeing some flooding along the coast here. But the good part of this is the worst of it is over the next hour or two, and then the waters will slowly begin to recede. Here's the timing on this. Now, basically to 7 p.m. is where we're looking at for the biggest flood threat here for Nantucket. Again, 2 to 4 feet. We're already at that right now, and that'll be coming down. Their high tide is at 6:13, so after about 6 o'clock locally, those waters will begin to come down, and hopefully not seeing the type of flooding there we saw earlier, because remember, on Nantucket, a lot of the island is still without power. This is not something that you want if you're living there or you're still there on Nantucket. Now, further up the coast here, I did see some reports of flooding there in Scituate. They are at their high tide right now. 5 o'clock is their high tide. Marshfield, Duxbury, down to Plymouth. We're also talking about probably on the order of 2 to 3 feet of flooding there. I don't think we're going to get up to 4 feet, Dave and Alex, with the flooding there. They saw flooding as high as 4 to 5 feet earlier. So let's get through this high tide, Dave and Alex, and then we'll be out of the woods as the storm pulls off to the northeast. Back to you.
Michael, what about the residents of the north shore of Cape Cod, where the northwest wind is an onshore wind now?
That's an excellent point, Dave. Earlier we were dealing with that northeasterly wind, so some of those areas that didn't get the flooding before are seeing it right now. So yes, north and west facing beaches also at risk.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Michael Lowry in the lab. He is our storm surge specialist now and during hurricane season.
Why are you all here? To learn, right? So you can get a good job, so you're not working for peanuts. Well, what if I told you that peanuts can work for you? While you guys are busy napping, peanuts are delivering 7 grams of protein and 6 essential nutrients right to your mouth. You ever seen a peanut take a day off? No. Peanuts don't even get casual khaki Fridays, because peanuts take their job seriously. So unless you want a life of skimming Wi-Fi off the neighbors, you'll harness the hard-working power of the peanut.
At Ancestry, we call it a hint. Our little leaf that helps guide you through the past. Simply type in a name, and you're taken on a journey. A journey that crosses generations and continents. All to tell the most amazing story. Yours. Discover your story. Start searching for free now at Ancestry.com.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know that words really can hurt you?
What?
Jesse, don't go! Jesse,
said no.
I'm sorry, Daisy, but I'm a loner, and a loner's gotta be alone.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
I have the flu with a runny nose. Better take something.
Theraflu Severe Cold won't treat your runny nose.
Really?
Alka-Seltzer Severe Cold and Flu relieves your worst flu symptoms plus runny nose.
Oh, what a relief it is.
We met on eHarmony in 2009, and now we're engaged.
Our unique matching system is designed to lead you to your perfect someone.
I chose eHarmony over other dating sites. I was really looking to find somebody that I knew I was compatible with.
I ended up getting the whole package.
I feel like I've been going to bridal showers my whole life, and now it's finally my bridal shower.
Maybe it's your turn to find true love. Stop waiting. Start communicating for free today.
Build weather invention.
Wow, anybody else surprised it actually worked? Mother Nature can absolutely change people. I'm ready to get out of here and create a new track. This is a tornado emergency.
It was hard to believe.
How strong is Allegra D?
My congestion's finally gone strong.
Allegra D, a fast, non-drowsy antihistamine plus a powerful decongestant that starts relieving your toughest symptoms in just 1 hour.
It's breathing free for 24 hours strong.
Allegra D, guaranteed or your money back.
Having allergies can be a miserable experience. Using a nasal spray shouldn't be. With Nasacort, it's not. In fact, people prefer Nasacort over Flonase. It's scent and alcohol-free and has no harsh taste. For nasal allergy relief, Nasacort stops more of what makes you miserable.
Grab your pickaxe because now there's even more gold to be found in Florida. Introducing the family of Gold Rush scratch-off games from the Florida Lottery. 5 Gold Rush tickets to choose from with a top prize of $3 million. Now there's more gold than ever. Play the $1, $2, $5, $10, and $20 tickets for a chance to win your part of over $700 million in total cash prizes. The Gold Rush family of scratch-off games. Get ready to strike it rich from the Florida Lottery.
2752. That's 800-399-2752. 800-399-2752.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 50. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine, high 68. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy skies in the evening, then becoming cloudy overnight, low 57. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Thanks, Jeff.
You know somebody lost out on a rock, paper, scissors battle to have to go out in that, right?
Right. This is the top of Mount Washington, New Hampshire. And this guy is going out to change an instrument used to measure snowfall.
Right, they bring it in, they melt down that snow to get the liquid equivalent, but then they've got to take it back out or take it in and out as needed to get that measurement. So somebody has to brave the cold and the winds gust over 100 miles per hour there at the summit of Mount Washington earlier today.
Yeah, well, it's -6 right now, and the wind is out of the northeast gusting at 101 this past hour. So you suspected that that guy's the intern.
I did. You know, yesterday we talked to one of the folks there who worked there, and he did say that they had an intern with them to ride out this storm. So I would imagine when you have an intern, you send them out in that.
Right.
You go, hey, you know what the intern gets to do? It's like the most fun job of all.
Right. And
you get to go get the snow.
It'll look good on your resume, is what they tell them.
It will. It shows you're a hard worker. You've got great balance, a great core to stay standing at the net.
Of course, the guy's a star. He's been on the Weather Channel now twice this afternoon.
Also a star, Chris Warren. He is live in Providence, Rhode Island, where he's keeping us up to date on what's happening there.
And Chris, I've got a little piece of information for you right now. In Hill City, Kansas, it's 83 degrees right now.
You know what, Dave? I want to go back to what you guys were talking about earlier.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm going to close my eyes and remember when I was standing on the beach in Hawaii and I saw the green flash.
He's
it was a nice,
in now.
It was
now
a nice evening.
Feel bad. He's making you feel bad.
Wow.
Look what you got.
That was really neat. And Dave, you've never seen the green flash?
I've never seen it. No.
I've also seen it in California earlier this year.
Wow.
2. That's my thunder snow, is the green flash.
There you go, yeah.
Why don't you put a guy down on national TV like this? What's with that? Is there some bad blood?
So what else is going on in Kansas there, Dave? What else is happening in Kansas?
We're going to let Chris wish he was in Kansas, where it's 83 degrees.
Hill City, Kansas. It's 83 right now, my friends.
Now Dave's going to cry about
This is the place I want to be, though.
Yeah.
That is? Okay, go ahead, take it.
No, I was going to say, this is the place I want to be here because there's such a big, amazing storm. I mean, widespread areas picking up feet of snow, and we're seeing things slowly come back to life here in Providence, Rhode Island. The plows, they've been going nonstop since this started. We saw 20 hours with gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Within that, there were 8 consistent hours. We had 40 to 45 mile an hour gusts. This was starting last night at 9 o'clock, and the snow is still coming down, and you can see it's coming sideways. You are going to be allowed to get back on the roads. Travel ban comes to an end at 10. It's not advised to go out on the roads. Interstate 95 is looking pretty good, which is right over here, but many of these side streets still packed with snow. Snow packed as these plows are going. We want to talk about this wind-driven snow, which can also cause some problems. Here's the sidewalk. So they brought us a plow through, a blower through here earlier, and you can see right off to the side, it doesn't look like much snow at all. Maybe 3-4 inches. The snow has been blowing. We've been getting the winds from the northeast, and it blows away. Okay? Well, it goes somewhere. And where it goes is where the wind slows down and it settles. I dug this out a little bit earlier to give you an idea. The wind comes over, right over the hill, and then below it, you have calmer winds, and that snow settles. And it settles, you can see closer to the top where it's windier, it's not very deep at all, right? You can see this, got a couple of inches. But then you come down, all the way down here, and you measure perpendicular away from the hill, and that's 3 feet of snow. So that's what the wind-driven snow can do. And imagine if you're in a situation where your car or your truck's in your driveway, and you have this to deal with. So a foot, 2 feet is a lot of snow, but the wind-driven snow, Dave and Alex, we know can be 3 or 4 foot easily.
That's like a snow dune. Like a snow dune.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
And these are the things too, when it builds up like this on the mountains, these are the things that can release and cause